Hello, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Steele. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well, Miss Lisa. I'm going to let you pronounce your last name because I don't want to mess it up if it's maybe Roche or is it Roach? How do you pronounce your last name?
Thank you for asking. It should be Roche. That's the original pronunciation, but it's just Roach, like it
Okay,
sounds. Yeah.
that's what I thought. So, well, maybe it's Roche, but okay. Well, Miss Lisa, that I think that fits you very well. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you. Among all the technical difficulties, and I'm just, you know what? When things are good, you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
I'm a strong believer in that. Again, I thank you so much for being a part of our Women in Ag Wednesday talk show. It's the first of its kind. It's just another outreach um, and technical service platform, if you will. People get tired of the same conference type thing and go to a workshop or whatever the case may be, town hall meetings. Those are all great outreach tools or platforms. However, being women and being innovators of the next generation of leaders, if you will, and I'm trying to develop more, give more younger people like yourself opportunities to come in and share what you're doing. So this show is all about you, what you're doing to help the agriculture industry. So again, welcome and tell us who you are, what you do, where you're from, your ag background, just everything you could think of, and then we'll go into another part of it, working with some other government agencies and things to that nature.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Gosh, where to start? Well, yeah, my name is Lisa Roach. I live in San Francisco, California. Um, I guess I'll start with my background in ag. My grandparents were farmers and they lived in rural Germany. So we would visit them in the summers and I got to hang out with them, pull up crops in the garden and in the field, help them feed the cows, and just kind of got my own little like hands-on experience with farming. And that stuck with me growing up. It was a really special and magical time. And then my mom would take me with her to go to the farmer's market when she would go grocery shopping as well as a kid. So I got my connection to farmers and farmers markets back at home that way as well. So when I was in college, I actually interned for a farmer's market here in San Francisco and was the info booth volunteer. And I would distribute SNAP EBT tokens to the customers. So that's how I was introduced to food assistance programs at farms and farmers markets. And that also stuck with me. And I decided to pursue a career in however I can help push forward those programs and support them in any way I could. Um, which, long story short, got me to MarketLink, which is where I work now. I'm a regional representative. I cover the Western region, the Southeast region, and the Southwest region of the United States. So pretty big area, but we work remote, so we're able to do most of our work through email and phone calls.
Mhm.
And the MarketLink program is a nonprofit that was um, awarded funding from the USDA to specifically help farms and farmers markets accept SNAP EBT. So, for any listeners or viewers who are not familiar with that program, it's commonly known or used to be known as food stamps.
Mhm.
So, these are federal dollars that anyone can apply for to receive funding to buy food for themselves or the family, and they qualify based on household and income factors.
Mhm.
Um, Most often, we refer anyone who asks about how to sign up to their local health and human services offices, or local food banks can sometimes help them apply as well.
Okay.
But what we do is we help the farms and the farmers markets accept those payments from customers.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, and the two main ways we do that are we help them through the SNAP application. So to be a SNAP authorized retailer, you need to apply online with the USDA.
Mhm.
And for a busy farmer or farmer's market manager, it can be a little intimidating. So we try to make the process as easy as possible. And the second piece of our work and funding is to provide SNAP EBT processing equipment. So this is the actual machine they would use to accept those cards. And I can go more into details about that in a little bit, but yeah, I think I'll end there. That's a pretty good overview and probably enough information to start with.
So you are, as you call your company, well, your company's name is Market Link. So you help the farmers get signed up to participate in the SNAP programs, like where they get the actual EBT machine, if you will, all the information that's needed from the farmer, like what farm is the food coming from? Are there things to that nature that what you're doing? Am I on the right track with what?
Yeah, you're on the right track. Like to apply for SNAP, you would need to know what the name of the business is, where they're located, what their hours are, and they would need to also provide what their inventory is, so what they're actually selling to the public and what they're growing themselves. So as far as the USDA is concerned, to be a farmer, you need to sell at least 50% of products you grow or raise yourself. So whether that's fruit, vegetables, or if you raise animals for animal products, as long as you're the person who's producing those food items, and it makes up half of your inventory and sales, then you're a farmer. And then for a farmer's market, you would need to have at least 3 farmers who come together at the same location every week. So I guess using the word traditional sounds weird, but we sometimes say like traditional farmers market booths that come together like in a parking lot or a park in a neighborhood. That would qualify a farmers market.
Okay, so a minimum of 3 or a maximum of 3 people.
Minimum of 3.
A minimum of 3.
Yeah, we see some up to 200 vendors.
Oh,
They can get pretty big.
Those huge markets. Yeah. So as far as the farmer, are we talking about the USDA AMS program, the marketing service?
That is not related to our work. Okay. Yeah, I know the market name kind of can be a little misleading, but that is separate funding that farmers and farmers markets, I believe, can apply for to get help with promotion. And they also do a lot of statistics, like they're doing a lot of data tracking. So I have limited knowledge of what that side of the branch does, but that's my general understanding of it.
And when you say this, the Western and the Southern, so like, how far south do you come as far as with your services?
All the way to Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Yeah, I could pull up the map because I don't have it. And all the way to Florida as well. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you cover all of the South because everything you named is South. So this is good to know. And this is a great tool. I would love for us to also see if we could possibly get your link on our website.
Oh, definitely.
These tools, as well as put into our app, because we have a Women in Agriculture app.
Oh, awesome.
It's been approved by Apple. I'm so proud of that feature, or that outreach tool for people to be able to click into. And if you could get us that information, I would love to share that with the farmers across the United States, just in general, because I'm sure you have, your company also is on the East Coast as well.
That's correct. Yeah. When I say that I'm the regional representative, that's my region. But then we have a gal in Colorado. She covers the mountain, plains, Midwest, and Mid-Atlantic. And then we have one more representative in the Northeast, and she covers the Northeast region. So there's 3 of us all together. But based on our locations, we kind of help cover the entire United States. And we're not like super attached to those regions either. It's just where we focus our work. But if someone I worked with in Florida got connected to my colleague in the Northeast, they're more than welcome to work with them too. It's just whoever's available. We just try to like split up the work to make sure everybody's covered at least.
Okay. So, and when you say you're covered, you work specifically with basically the market managers or the individual farmers?
With both. Yeah. So both direct marketing farmers and farmers markets are eligible to apply for our help. So most often with farmers markets, I work with the market manager, but sometimes you'll see an executive director of a nonprofit. Sometimes it's a volunteer. But in general, it's the person who's on the ground managing the market.
Okay.
And with farmers, it's typically the owner of the farm is the one who's applying.
Okay, so farmers individually can apply for the SNAP program. So
That's
like
right.
maybe a CSA, do you all work with those at all?
We do, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. This is great information. I'm so happy. This is great because we have so many farmers that don't like to participate in markets per se, because there that's a structure.
Mhm.
And so if they choose to sell on their own, like an individual farmer, they could connect to your program as well. This is
Mhm.
I didn't realize there was such a service. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the barriers that you may see that happens to farmers or at farmers markets.
Yeah, I would say honestly the biggest barrier is not knowing about us. So
Okay.
the fact that we were connected and just any organizations like this that help us get the word out is a huge help. Less than 0.1% of SNAP dollars is spent at farmers and farmers markets,
Mm,
which is why the USDA created this grant and created this funding.
mhm,
So right now, our biggest push is just to get the word out. Um, and then on both the farmers market and the farmer side, I'd say the next biggest barrier is just time. They're
yeah,
extremely busy people, as you can imagine. So a lot of times they don't have the time to sit down at a computer to apply for SNAP, figure out how all this works.
mhm,
So again, we hope that by us existing, that is something that helps alleviate that barrier.
mhm,
The third, I would say, is technology. You may know that the farmer population on average is over 60 years old. So these
mm,
are people who may not have grown up with technology as younger folks have, may not have a lot of experience working with computers. So sometimes navigating, again, an online application or a machine to process payments may not something that becomes natural to them.
mhm.
So we want to always connect people to resources for training if we can. Um, and then I think a third is I'm not really sure exactly how to word this, but sometimes farmers may have mistrust of government programs. So, again, really trying to reiterate that we are here to help. We're just trying to connect people to food and food access. Um, and that we hopefully again make that as easy as possible and help rebuild that trust by just having a friendly voice, a friendly person to talk to and get all your questions answered with the full transparency of what's expected on the application and kind of what you're getting into before you sign up.
Awesome.
um,
So I think this may even cause for another show where you could possibly do an application process.
I could,
May
yeah.
get like a farmer and then have yourself and walk them through the process. I mean, maybe that's something in the future, in the near future, we could look at because again, this is a great tool. You all who's out there listening and you're farmers and you want if you want to participate at a farmer's market or you don't, or you just want to sell your products and receive actual federal benefits or food stamps or SNAP program benefits. You can connect with Miss Lisa here and get a machine, if you will. Is that individual farmers can get a machine? Am I correct?
Yeah, so now I could go into the equipment if you'd like. So the equipment that we provide is through a partnership with a company called Total Pay Go. So Total Pay Go is their own private company, and they developed an app that that anyone would download on their phone or tablet.
Oh, cool.
It works pretty similar to Square if you've ever seen that in
Mhm.
action. And then we provide a Bluetooth card reader that actually swipes the cards. And what our grant covers is the 1 year subscription to that app for the first year
Mm.
and the card reader. And then after that, they have no obligation to keep using it. Like they could cancel if they like. But if they want to keep using it, it's $191.40 a year or $19.95 a month. So they have the option to do the full year if they're open year round, or if they're just open seasonally, they could just pay for the months that they're open. But again, the idea of the grant is to give them that free year to try it out, see if it's going to work for them, and hopefully during that time, gain enough SNAP customers as well to keep the program going once the free year is up.
Wow, that's phenomenal. And look at technology. I'm literally, because I've done farmers markets in my past in my ag walk, and we literally had the big machine and they had to come and change tape out and all that. Now technology has where you can have it on your phone. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is phenomenal. Do you all help in any way, like promote, or is that not your land as far as with the farmer or the farmers markets?
We do have like we accept SNAP here posters and printouts that we can send folks, but
Okay,
unfortunately we don't, that's not part of our funding. It's
right.
just directly assistance with the equipment and the application. There's other grants out there. There's the farmers market promotion grant. And usually what we do is once somebody's all set up, we send them a follow-up, like kind of a last thank you follow-up email that includes a lot of resources of how to promote your program and kind of other places they can look into grants. So while we don't directly have funding or capacity to help promote, we do have a few resources saved to at least point folks in the right direction.
And as well, that could be like a twofold. Like even with people, like you said, zero is so many a low percentage of people that utilize their SNAP program at farmers markets for locally grown foods.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I know that our organization is trying to turn around just in the food deserts that we actually have our operations at. Our chapters are throughout the United States. But unfortunately, in the audience that we try to target and serve and connect to these programs, they really don't understand the importance of eating local.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, again, that's whole nother show, and then we could bring in another person that could talk about how important it is. And I'm just like, my mind's steady clicking over. As women, I'm like, okay, that's another show to have her here and have the farmer. But it's so important, you all, that you understand that those benefits that you receive, because I've seen people in the grocery stores with SNAP program or has the EBT card, if you will, and 90% of the stuff in their food cart is snack food. It's not fruits and vegetables, not even so much good meat. It's a lot of frozen foods, microwavable foods. Most of them are, what do they call those? I don't even know what they call it, not fabricated. I can't think of the word right now, but they're mostly unhealthy foods. And that's another show, but it's so important that the audience that we are trying to target and make sure you understand, use those EBT cards at farmers market or get involved in CSA. You say, what is CSA? That's a community service agriculture. Meaning that you could connect with the individual farmer and they could sell you like a box or a bag of food per week that's locally grown, that's good for your body. So that's just my little nuggets. But back to you, Miss Lisa, I want to talk more about your program for the farmers. So it's a win-win wraparound system for everyone to be healthy and be prosperous. Is there some more things you want to add about your program?
Yeah, I think what you actually just brought up is another thing to add. Getting SNAP authorized is the first step to offering an incentive program. So incentive programs are administered on the state level, but those are matching programs for all SNAP customers to get additional funds for fresh fruits and vegetables. Again, you may see a lot of those snack foods items in a cart simply because, again, of cost, those are going to be the cheapest items. So incentive programs provide even more funding for just shopping at local farms and farmers markets. So anyone who is interested in offering an incentive program, getting SNAP authorized would be the first step. So again, they could come to us first, and then we could connect them to the right state representative who could hopefully get them that next level of funding for incentive programs. So again, that's like kind of helping hopefully alleviate some of those barriers for SNAP customers to get even more healthy, fresh access foods to feed themselves and their family. And going back to like promotion, one of the main things we recommend that anyone who's authorized for SNAP do is reach out to, again, those local health and human services offices and let them know that they accept SNAP to see if there's any possibility for partnership of promoting their programs directly to the people who are coming to sign up. And in my past work, I found that that's usually the best way to actually get folks to come out to the market. Another barrier you'll see with customers is transportation. Like they may not have, the transportation to go to the market. They may be too busy. So that's where CSAs are actually a huge help, because you're delivering them directly to the customer, or may have more accessible pickup points.
Yes.
Yeah, just to add to a little bit of what you mentioned. But some more about our program. The other things that we can offer is we could always do webinars. So if there were any state agencies or nonprofits listening who wanted to set up a webinar, I have definitely done like walk through the SNAP application webinar before. So we could do one. We offer that to any nonprofits, or again, food access organizations. If there were enough people interested, we could always do a sign-up day. We ask that at least 20 farmers or farmers markets are interested for us to physically come out in person. We just, again, need that at least 20 people to justify the travel costs.
Most definitely.
Let me think if I missed anything. Oh, the other important note of our grant. So we do not charge for our services. We do not charge for technical assistance. So anyone who needs help with the SNAP application, we don't charge for that. And they're also not obligated to use our equipment. They can get our help with the SNAP application and go with another provider. A lot of states actually offer free equipment, so we usually recommend they reach out to their state first. It's just important to reiterate that we're not a tech company trying to sell equipment. We're a nonprofit that is here to help farms and farmers markets accept SNAP EBT and whatever that looks like for them.
What great work. I mean, I'm just thinking, wow, this is such a great resource. And you guys, it's free.
Yeah.
Just to get signed up, especially you farmers and farmer market managers, if you will. This seems the way to go, and have, like you said, a webinar or connect with Miss Lisa and her company. Well, I'm at the end. If there's anything else you want to add, I think this was a phenomenal show, and it's a great resource. And I hope you all saw the benefit from so many different aspects. I mean, there's a win-win for the farmer to keep them producing good food, local, also for you all to purchase the food. And you said that incentive, but you really didn't get into it too much. So before I leave, I want to touch up on that. The incentive to is there like double coupon or double EBT day? I don't know how to really say it, but what is the incentive?
Yes. So incentive programs are they're also funded by the USDA. It's through the GUS-NIP grant. That's the GUS Nutrition Incentive Program. So that funding gets awarded to individual states to then distribute that funding to farmers and farmers markets who already accept EBT. So when a customer comes, I guess I'll just give the example of the farmers market I used to work at. So in San Francisco, there's a farmers market run by the Agricultural Institute of Marin called Stonestown Farmers Market. And so there they offered what's called Market Match. So that's the matching program in California. So the Agricultural Institute of Marin was a beneficiary of this funding. So at the farmers market, a customer would come and take out, let's say, I think it was up to $20 matching. When I worked there, it could be different now. Admittedly, it's been a long time, but usually it's between $10, $20 to $30. So a customer would say, I want to take out $20 of my EBT funds. So then I would hand them $20 of EBT tokens and $20 of matching tokens. So they'd have $40 altogether to spend at the market, where the SNAP EBT tokens could be spent on any SNAP eligible foods, or the matching funds would be for fruits and vegetables only. But that would be still additional funding to make their federal benefits last longer and get more food at the market.
Wow.
Yeah.
That means we want to start selling food as well. It's like, well, I can't get EBT, but still, that's just an incentive to sell food, because you're doubling the bucks. And this actually helps the farmer, because they get more funding, but you're getting more food. The person that's purchasing the locally grown foods, you can't get it any better. So for us to run around unhealthy on any level, it's no excuse. And I tell people that all the time. There are so many resources, and like you're bringing a win-win for everyone across the board. The actual patron, the actual customer, it's a win-win. You could actually double. I love that. I've heard of it before, but I wasn't quite sure how it worked. And I would encourage any farmer to please contact Miss Lisa, and we will make sure that we'll have your information as well as your company's link and all that connected. So we can help people be healthy, but most importantly as well, to have our farmers prosperous and stay prosperous and sustain them with what they're doing, because we need more farmers in America across the globe. We really do. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really sad what's happening to our farmers. And I get it. And as you know, being a nonprofit organization, things are difficult, and I see it from both sides. What we got to keep doing is doing this work out here and make sure we're supporting the farmers as well as the people that are purchasing the food, educate them how important it is to eat local. So, Miss Lisa, we are at the end of the show. Do you have any more nuggets you want to throw at us? Because you've given us some tea today, baby.
I think that's it. I think what I just mostly like to reiterate is like, I'm a real person. I work from home. If you call me, I will answer.
Right? Okay. See?
Yeah.
You guys see how real this is? She said she's from home. She's a real person. She will answer. So, farmers, people, a farmers market, managers, it is so important that you connect with Miss Lisa at Market Link. It's right there for you. It would be on our website. Also, we're going to put that information in our app. So make sure you download your Women in Agriculture app, NWIA app for National Women in Agriculture. And to all of you wonderful women out there that are doing phenomenal things like Miss Lisa Roche or Roach, as you're going to say, but I love Roche. Thank you for being a community leader and being a part of the whole agriculture family. And that's what I like to call it, a family, because no one can do this work alone. Although there are several women that think they can. You're killing yourself. Don't even try it. I mean, numbers matter. We got to do it together. I mean, we have to do this work together. And again, as I always say at the end of our show, it's a great day in ag to make that bag. And that's no pun intended, although we talked about making that bag in ag. So again, Miss Roche, thank you so much for being with us, and you have a blessed day. Thank you.
You too.
And we'll be in touch to get that link. Again, thank you very much.
Sounds
Happy
good. Thank you.
National Women's Month.